How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. We are closing in on draft season for the Cincinnati Bengals, and it looks to be pinpointed down. I tell you what, I'm ready. I am pumped. Red's gonna start winning some baseball games here eventually, but until then, it's football season almost. Kind of, not really. Bengals, though, it looks like the favored positions here we're seeing heavily taken, the Bengals around right now in the first round. Offensive line, defensive line, cornerback. Which one do they go? We'll see. I love Linderbaum. I know we're getting a lot of talk about Linderbaum, the stud center. And I don't know if he'll be there at 31. I think if he falls to the Bengals at 31, you say, all right, let's go offensive line. Let's take Linderbaum here. Guy's going to be a stud. And you add that guaranteed piece, young guaranteed piece, or you think guaranteed, it's draft, you never know. That young stud in the middle. You got Williams, and then you brought in these veterans, but they're not going to have the shelf life. We got it. Shelf life that these younger guys are, because they're 30 years old, they're 28, they're 29. So you also want to build some young core players on this offensive line to protect Joe Burrow for the future. So I completely love the idea of bolstering up that final small hole in the offensive line, if you will, or question mark, we should say. But if he's not there, I don't want to also take a guy that could be a hit or miss. The Bengals have, again, struggled recently offensive line-wise in the first round. So then you turn your sight to defensive line and cornerback. And I think here you look and say, well, they're going to bring Osai back. That's going to help with the pressure on the defensive side. You can always, you don't want to, I guess. You can always sign some guys in free agency when the years come. But I think you look at the cornerbacks and say Hilton's always going to be your slot guy. Awuzie's out wide. And then you got Eli Apple, who had a solid season, but it was his best season of his career, and you're asking a lot for him to repeat that. Not only are you asking a lot for him to repeat that, and I hope he does. You know, make no mistake about it. I hope the guy balls out again. But you're also playing with fire that, or not only are you hoping he balls out, you're also playing with fire hoping nobody gets injured at that cornerback position because they don't have a lot of depth. And it is good and important to have them pass rush because I love the idea of bolstering up the trenches on both sides. I start at the trenches and then expand. Worry about the rest of the positions, other than quarterback, of course. But when it comes to the cornerback position in an NFL, we're going to go up against these offensive lines that's going to protect their quarterback and give them time to throw. And you're going up against an AFC, an absolutely loaded AFC when it comes to the quarterback position this year. And the Bengals are going to see a lot of these guys this year playing that first place schedule this year. And when you have elite quarterbacks, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to target the weakness on the defense. Target it play after play after play after play after play. And if you see that hole on Eli Apple's side, or if you see that injury on either side of the CB, it's not going to matter about the pass rush because they're going to have enough time to throw that football and pick your team apart. So I think it's really, really important if they can't get that offensive lineman, that the Bengals need to go and address the cornerback position in this draft. It has to be number one on the list if there is not a stud, absolute stud that just fell through the cracks like a Linderbaum. I see him in mock draft sliding. I don't see it though. The way that guy plays, he looks like he's going to be a really good football player. And there's a lot of teams that could use some interior line help. So it's really going to come down to how many teams go down that list of quarterbacks where it's really been up and down of how many quarterbacks are going to be taken in the first round. How good are these quarterbacks? That's going to have a big impact on things, of course. Come draft day, though, I'm saying cornerback, unless you see good old Linderbaum out there. I love you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.